Hello everyone and welcome to the grand final of the second Pleiades tournament. It's a coincidence, but just like in Tournament 1, there is a match in the final round that decides the winner. I'm currently 6-0, I'm the only one that hasn't lost yet. I've won all my matches up to this point. If I win, I go 7-0, undefeated, easy champion. Well, it wasn't easy, but the calculation to decide who is the champion is easy. If Sebzen wins, who is currently 5-1 due to one loss against Pretzel, then Sebzen would tie with me. And then based on the first tiebreaker, if you beat the person that you're tied with, Sebzen would win the tournament. So let's find out. Who wins the tournament? I have my hero deck with a bit of Vylon, and Subson has the other deck that has turned out to do pretty well in this tournament. I think 2 people ran it, 2 or 3. Laval. Some had Laval with a bit of other things. One had just pure Laval. No, I don't remember which one Subson had, but Subson definitely had Laval. I start off, and they start off immediately with a double summon, giving themselves a Laval Blaster and a Laval Kotal. Getting themselves ready for a Synchro Summon, immediately putting 2 Lavals in the grave because that's important for a few different card effects. Here's Laval Dragon. Lava Monster from deck to hand. There's a Handmaiden, and that's likely going to the graveyard. Yep. And because there's another Laval in the grave, that lets them send a Laval from the deck to the grave, which is a Handmaiden. Effect goes off, sends another Handmaiden. Effect goes off, sends Lakeside Lady. And the Lakeside Lady can take out set cards, but also there's 6 cards in here now that they could potentially use for Dust Flame Blast, their most destructive card. They decide to use 2 of them, take out my face down spell or trap, which means no Mirror Force. That's unfortunate. And they take a Mystic Tomato. I'm glad I do get another summon. That is nice. Get Witch of the Black Forest. Ah, they do have 2 sets. I was hoping I could just synchro. I decided to go for it anyway because I need to beat that Laval Dragon. Go for Colossal Fighter. Solemn Judgment. Ah, okay, at least I lose 4,000 life points. That is a pretty big thing. That is a pretty big thing. Now, Witch of the Black Forest was still sent from the field to the graveyard, so that effect does go off. And I get myself another Violent Prism. However, my field is completely empty now. Not a great start. Like, I could have double summoned here to set something up, but it didn't feel right. Wasn't a good idea, probably. Another Lakeside Lady to the graveyard. Likely to use later on to take out a set card of mine, so yeah. This isn't looking good. Laval Cannon then lets you special summon a Banished Laval, which is going to be Lakeside Lady, I assume. And that's a synchro for level 7 into Laval Stenin. You have to send a card from hand to graveyard when that thing is synchro summoned, so that's fortunate for me. UFO Turtle is gone. However, when that thing's targeted by a card effect, you can banish Laval from the grave and negate the activation, so that's, yeah. This could be hard to deal with. They have 1 set card and 2 monsters. As long as that isn't like a Mirror Force or Solemn Judgment, as long as I can at least get a monster that is stronger than theirs out in the fields, I can do it. And I have to. If I don't play anything like that, there's nothing I can do. So I play Ranger. Got myself Clayman and Sparkman. So I have those options for later on. And I have to play Double Summon here. Forgot to actually play Double Summon, but yeah, here's Double Summon. Synchro into Colossal Fighter. We're trying this again. Prism's effect equips the Colossal Fighter. We don't have a hero here, a normal hero yet. Let's see how many warriors we have. Colossal Fighter and Ranger. Laval Cannon is a warrior. So that is, and Blaster is as well. So that's 4 warriors, putting me at 32 with Prism's effect. That would put me at 42. So that would be 1,700 damage. That's that one gone. I dealt more damage, also because they can use that effect to send more things to the graveyard. I don't have a set card. Even if I did have it, would I play it? It would be in the hopes that they would forget that they could use Lakeside Lady. at least it looks like they can't stop me at the moment. No Mirror Force, no Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Maybe it's a 7 Tools of the Bandit. Either way, at the moment it looks good. I summon Hept, get Prism back, and overlay them both into Gem Knight Pearl. That's that to the graveyard. Direct attack, and it was looking bad with Stenin and with Dragon, but their one Solemn Judgment, they had to play it because they probably didn't have another way to deal with it, but when I had double summon in hand to get a Synchro out again, which I needed because the Xyz wouldn't have been able to beat Stenin, I needed Colossal Fighter. That's why I got another Prism. Because I got that, and because they didn't have a set that could deal with me, luckily it wasn't Mirror Force. Luckily it was a Dust Flame Blast, because they had a great setup for that. Unfortunately for them, that didn't work out. Yeah, I had to go for Colossal Fighter. It is 1-0. I'm just one duel remaining from taking a 4th place, which last tournament was bottom half because we had 6 players, all the way to an undefeated streak and winning Tournament 2. That would be pretty darn cool. Let's see. Match number 2. We did a lot of talking. Alright. Subson decides to go first once I have the field set up. Once I have something like 7 tools, a Solemn Judgment face down to stop my big plays. 3 sets, my turn. Not that many monsters, although I have double summon to do some fancy things. This setup isn't all too bad because there's Scrap Iron Scarecrow. I have a Divine Wrath, which I believe is a side deck card for me. And I can use that to stop one of their effects. And that can be pretty big. Okay, Kotal is down. Nothing too fancy. Thing is, with 3 set cards, normally there's no like Heavy Storm or the Harpy's Feather Duster to take all of them out. However, Dust Flame Blast, once there's a setup, can take them all out. So unless you have a 7 Tools of the Bandit or Solemn Judgment to stop that, you can get a big wipeout. Just file on Hept. I want to keep my tuner for later on. Handmaiden to the graveyard. Maybe they did have that before, but they needed another Lava in the graveyard to use it. And I don't want to give them that setup. Not for Lakeside Lady later on, but also not to suddenly have 5 monsters in there for Dust Flame Blast. Now they do have Mirror Force, so my monsters are gone, but I felt that this was a nice moment to use Divine Wrath to give them not that many options. Now here is Lava Blaster, setting 5 cards to the top of the deck. Now this is an important thing that came up early on in the tournament. You can choose a number from 1 to 5, then send that many cards from the top of the deck to the graveyard. That's cost. On resolution, this card again 200 attack for each lava monster sent to the graveyard to activate the effect. Now, Handmaiden. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send a lava to the graveyard. When you can. It's an optional when effect, meaning it can miss activation timing. And because at the time it would be able to activate, the last thing that happened was Blaster's effect resolving, whether it gained stats or not. And it will gain stats because of Handmaiden was sent, but it resolves. Blaster resolves, and sending stuff to the graveyard doesn't work out, so Handmaiden misses activation timing. They don't get that Handmaiden's effect. However, they do have a setup of 4 lavas in the grave already, but Handmaiden doesn't go off. No missing timing. They do gain 400 attack for 1600. Oh yeah, 1 Dust Flame is gone, so that's a maximum of 2 left. I like to see that in the graveyard. That's 1600 attack on them. I decided to just stop the attack that Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Unfortunately, that is a permanent attack gain. They're still at 1600. So I place a defense position monster, play a new set card. Let's see what they can do. It's unlikely I'll let them go with that. I need to draw into something nice before I'll move on. I have 7 tools the Bandit face down now, so if I draw into a monster, I'm more likely to go for an Xyz or a Synchro. More likely Synchro, considering I have Prism. My Synchro is stronger than the Xyz. Let's see what they do. They just attack. Stop one. UFO turtle attacks. Can't stop that, but they take 100 damage. So that's first blood only now. But now they know it's Prism, and because it's face up, they can play Smashing Ground and take it out. Prism gone. I need a new monster, and there it is. Elemental Hero, Neos, Alias, and it's actually stronger than their Lava Blaster. So I'm absolutely taking a Blaster, because UFO Turtle just gives them a new monster. Blaster gone. Is the fifth thing in there. So if they have Dust Flame Blast face down, they could banish them all and take me out. Like, wipe my field. However, I have a 7 tools of the mana face down. So actually, if I just, in this matchup, would have just one Solemn Judgment, or 7 tools of the bandit face down, and they had a lot of lava set up in the graveyard like now, I probably wouldn't use the 7 tools of the bandit or Solemn Judgment to stop a Mirror Force. I wouldn't go all out because I have a 7 tools to defend from a Mirror Force anyway. I would keep it for Dust Flame Blast, most likely anyway, because of the powerful potential. Instantly here they crash into Alias to get Laval Kotal. Why would they do that? Because they have a cannon and they want to synchro to defend themselves from me. They have a higher stat now. No. Not allowing it. Also, you're not sending another handmaiden to the graveyard and then using Lakeside Lady. You're not. My turn. My field is looking better, and I still have 7 tools of the bandit. Draw. Not an extra attack, but I do still have Alias that can deal 1900 damage, so it's still pretty nice. Smashing Ground in case they have a big monster. Being able to stop that setup earlier on, even though there is certainly a setup now. There's no Lakeside Lady in there, so they can't take out my set cards. And I just have to hope they don't have Dust Flame Blast. If they have Dust Flame Blast, they play it now. It doesn't make much sense to me if they would have Dust Flame Blast and not play it now. Because then they could take out my sets too. Although maybe they want to play Mirror Force first, draw out my 7 tools. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm thinking, I could deal major damage and potentially even finish them off next turn if I 7 tools this. But I don't do it because Dust Flame Blast, whether they have it now or get it later, has way more potential to be deadly. I get a Ranger thanks to Witch's Effect, so it's not like I lose all of my monster pressure. I can keep going. There's a Level Cannon, but still there's nothing banished because there's no Dust Flame Blast or Lakeside Lady used so far. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, let's go. Elemental Hero Ranger. Unfortunately for me, they have Horn of Heaven, which I think Subzin was the only one that had that in their deck. Maybe it was a side deck card, I don't remember. But the tribute their card, take out my card. And it doesn't count as being sent from the field to the graveyard, because it was in a sort of a limbo state, so I can't get any cards back for it either. More face down cards. More face down cards. What could they be? I just played nothing. Their turn. They play nothing. My turn! Yay! Violent Prism! I get to attack again. Do they have a Mirror Force? They have something? No, they let the attack go. So once again, it's very unlikely that they'd have Dust Flame Blast. They have a Blaster. They want to overcome Prism by sending at least 2 Lavals. I'm hoping for Dust Flame Blast. No Dust Flame Blast, but no Lavals either. That also means no Lakes and Ladies to take out sets, so there's still a 1200 attack. It's a little luck based. You have a pretty good chance of finding at least 1 Laval, maybe 2, but that didn't work out. They needed 2, they got none. So it's my turn, and I just attack into Blaster, still afraid of something like a Mirror Force, and I don't want me to lose Mystic Tomato, also to lose its effect. I want to keep that a little later until, for some consistency perhaps. Do I pressure now? Yeah, I decide to pressure here because if I pressure now and then next turn I can have the win. There's the Lakeside Lady in the graveyard to take out a potential set card. Meanwhile, Prism doesn't deal damage because there is a Scrap Iron Scarecrow, and I let it go once again because Dust Flame Blast. And I know how powerful it is, and I know that somewhere in this combination of 19 cards, there's the potential for 2 more. And it's very likely that they're running at least 2, if not just 3, because of how powerful that is. Hero signals out. Doesn't really matter to me. They want to take out something like 7 tools. Tomato attacks. They have another mirror force. I let my monsters go. Who has monsters left after all these board wipes? Yeah, at this point, at least, I think I remember me doing it. I started counting how many of each monster I'd used, and therefore how many monsters I had left in the deck. Now, they did more setting stuff in the graveyard, so they don't have much left. Probably like 1 or 2 Lakeside Ladies, maybe a UFO Turtle, maybe a third Kotal or something, or a Cannon. Let's see. They have waited so long to use a Dustflame Blast. I feel that this is the moment to play it now that some of my monsters and my cards are gone. They played their Dustflame Blast, which banishes all Lavels from the graveyard, and then they can destroy any cards in the field up to the number of monsters banished for this card's activation. They had that for a little while there. I don't remember for how long, but Dustflame Blast was right there. And look what I say. I was wise to play it cautious until now, knowing Dustflame might be coming. And could this be the thing that won me the game? Do you have... And they asked me, so we're just playing it off each other a little bit. I like that. It's arrived. What has arrived? I've waited too long to do this. I'm taking advantage of this now. And I ask, do you have the tools to deal with this? 7 tools from the bandit, paying 1,000 life, but your Dustflame Blast is gone. Meaning they don't get the wipe. And their Lavels are gone from the river. However, they have 7 tools. They have solid judgment to stop my 7 tools. I was very wise not to play hard. I knew you could stop Dustflame, but I knew you could stop my stop. Yeah, that otherwise got it anyway. But yeah, that didn't work. That was a potential. They had a solid judgment, so the board wipe worked. However, they're still out of most of their mana, so unless they draw into their 3rd cannon, if they even have it, that might be it. I don't have set cards right now. I do have a Prism in hand that can't finish them off immediately. Ooh, counter. That would have been so great last turn! No, not last turn, because then I couldn't have activated it, because the chain was on my end phase 2 turns ago. But I had counter to stop Soul of Judgment and 7 tools in the Bandit, so that I could safely stop Dustflame Blast. That's the reason I put it in the deck! Unfortunately, I forgot that I have Scrap Iron Scarecrow, so that didn't really work out for me. But now I'm hoping they have something like 7 tools in the Bandit that can just stop the counter. And I did keep some of my cards in hand just in case Dustflame did go off. So I'm happy about that. Miniaturize is something I also cited in. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in my main deck. Once again, Scrap Iron Scarecrow activate. I keep attacking one to force them into activating it, so it helps me remember it. And maybe if they forget, I just deal the damage. It's unlikely, but this way I do remember at least that it's there. So I think that's just gives me better chances. Just from my own personal memory that I don't forget about it accidentally. Ranger comes in, activate the effect, but they have Divine Wrath, discarding the one monster that they had. They were expecting a monster effect from what I might have summoned. But that's a counter trap, so I play counter to counter your counter, and then they counter the counter, which is countering a counter. And once again, it doesn't work. Ranger to the graveyard. However, that does get me back a normal elemental hero, which is Sparkman. And I do get my attack. They still have Scrap Iron Scarecrow, but there isn't that much left. Now, I don't expect them to deck out, them to go to 0. But they don't have too much left, and I still have 3 set cards. They need to somehow, with what they have remaining, overcome me. And I don't think there's much of a way to put stuff that's banished for them back in the graveyard, so they may be able to reuse Lakeside Lady. Maybe it's just canon, what they're doing to now, to get something like Lakeside Lady, get a Synchro, and then go off that. And then maybe use Lakeside Lady's effect again, canon, and like these 2 are back in the graveyard to maybe use another Dustflame Blast with. But here I use Miniaturize, Activated by targeting a monster on the field with 1,000 original attack or more. However, that actually wasn't bad. I was stopping a Laval stand and play. But when I did that, I realized, wait, I just gave them the Volvo Dragon. Which, in a way, is more dangerous. Maybe not, but at least I wasted miniaturize. The monster left the field, so miniaturize is destroyed. They get a handmaid into hand, put him in the graveyard. Handmaid's effect goes off for another Lakeside Lady. That's not good, because now they have 4 monsters there. Also, they have 2 Lakeside Ladies. 3 of them have different names, so one of the Lakeside Ladies can activate to take out one of my sets. Hero Signal. I messed up. I'm so happy you didn't use the other Lakeside Lady. Yeah, they couldn't have done it because they didn't have another Lakeside Lady there. But yeah. Mirror Force. Like, they could have taken out Prism. I still had Smashing Ground in hand, but that was a pretty big play there. It was the taking a Mirror Force there for them was a lot bigger. What would I have been let's say they would have taken a Mirror Force. I would have had Hero Signal left. They would have taken a Prism, dealt 1,000 damage to me. I would have been a 2,000. Wow, I have more E-Heroes in the deck than I remember. So I actually still had a Ranger in the deck that I could have summoned. And then just gone Sparkman and Clayman. Yeah. I still had that option to play. So it would have had multiple monsters, then Smashing Ground, and then attacking. Would have just had one monster that would have still used Scrap Iron Scarecrow. So that's why I'm summoning Sparkman now. To get around the Scrap Iron Scarecrow. They use it on one. What is their other one? It is another Scrap Iron Scarecrow. They are still in this. If I have a third monster, this could be it. This is a very exciting second duel. And with Laval Dragon there, they can't take out my set card. I just said something about Lakeside and then I forget that it exists, so that's my Scrap Iron Scarecrow gone. That set card might be a bluff, it might not be. If that is a bluff, or at least is something that can't do anything to me, normal summoning Violent Hept and attacking with all is the finisher. All 3 of the Mirror Forces are in the graveyard, I don't have to be afraid of that. There's no Scrap Iron Scarecrow there, there's the potential for a third, but then they just negate my attack and I'd have the knowledge of Scrap Iron Scarecrow being there. Their Mirror Forces are gone. How can normal summon Violent Hept? Do it. Go for the win. And they're not even gonna wait for it. They admit defeat. Waiting for Alka. 2-0 win in that final match. That was a very exciting second duel, subs, and thank you very much for that. Woo! Didn't do too well Tournament 1, but went undefeated in terms of matches in Tournament 2. Because if you remember, it was my round 1 against the Enigma. I think that I'll get back to this in the retrospective video about the tournament, but I'm pretty sure that the Enigma in round 1, my first opponent, my very first duel in that match, I got a loss, and I think that was the only loss I had the entire tournament. And there was a Dustflame Blast still remaining in their deck, and it was on top of their main deck. Alright, thank you very much for watching. The next video, in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! That you'll likely see is a retrospective video for this, although I do have another recording planned, because Tournament 4 is about to start in a few days, and I'm just at the end of Tournament 2 in terms of video, so I do intend to quite quickly record and upload the Tournament 3 matches to get back on schedule with the tournament video, so that, let's say when I do Tournament 4 round 2, then I can just record that, upload that maybe the day I have the match. That would be nice. I'm hoping for that. But I do want some other content in between, some other Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels. I do know there's a Pokemon Vortex event going on, so I'll probably have a video about that. Some other duels to not just have the tournament duels here on the channel. So that's my plan for the next few days. I have a lot of time to make videos, and I do intend to upload a lot. I have a backlog of quite a few things as well. There's many different videos, Pokemon, other stuff on the random games. So we should be all good for this Christmas holiday, for this winter break. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.